I often say the most interesting thing in life is not the wealth or the position or the principles you hold, it's the people you meet along that life's journey that make life enriched. And I've been enriched by the Dairy Farmers of Victoria giving me the opportunity to manage change and make sure that they were in a better position to move forward from there. Well, I'm Max Fehring, and I've had a very strong role in the industry in the past. I was past president of the United Dairyfarmers of Victoria, a privilege that I had for 4 years from 1997 to 2001. I've been very much part of the initial setup of the Gardiner Foundation. When I was leaving the dairy industry, I came back home and I've been very involved in the local community, including the role of Mayor of the Shire of Gunnewarra and several other things that I've been involved with. I now live at Cuyuna with my wife Denise, has been able to establish a dairy farm which is now run by my sons, partnership with Clark, the farm manager. Had the opportunity to represent community at all levels, particularly dairy farming, and I did that for 22 years with the UDB, becoming finally the president at a critical time, as it now turns out in history, of deregulation, and which then allowed the Gardiner Foundation to become part of that. The Gardiner Foundation simply came about that the minister at the time gave us the opportunity to make use of the sale of the assets that the VDIA had. We could have lost it back into state revenue, but thankfully to Keith Hamilton and John Brumby at the time and the Victorian government, they said no, those assets should be used for the benefit of the Victorian dairy farmers and the manufacturers. So when that opportunity arose, we took it, and we didn't quite know how we'd put it all together, but we did that successfully. And now we see the benefits of the organisation today holding such a great amount of assets, but also having to look forward and meet the challenges of the future. The cheque ended up in Chris Nixon's hand. He was the nominated, and he walked to a bank in Hawthorn and deposited that cheque on behalf of the Dairy Farmers of Victoria and the milk manufacturers and processors. And from that point on, we got to work and made sure it was used in the best benefit of the farmers. But I also discovered 2 days later, the Treasury would have found out that we'd secured $65 million, which they felt that they were entitled to. I couldn't have been happier, but I didn't go near Treasury for a week after that. The challenge from then on was to make sure we made it work, which I think we've done successfully, and the current state of the Gardiner Foundation is a testimony to that. Well, the great strength of the Gardiner Foundation is the ability to work with all sectors of the industry. It has the ability to support and run leadership programs and community support programs. But also, if an issue comes up in the dairy industry, the Gardiner Foundation can work together in partnership with Dairy Australia, Victorian Government, to do things that need to be done in a very short manner of time. Leadership comes in so many forms. I'm a great believer that every one of us are leaders. And what I'd hoped and what I think has come out of the Gardiner Foundation at various times, and it'd be interesting to measure it, that each person that's been given the opportunity to enhance their leadership, in other words, just simply gain further knowledge, exposure to other people in confidence. But without leadership, the articulate nature of which we've got to put the dairy industry in front of consumers that we wish to serve, they are very key elements. Looking back is interesting, looking forward's essential, is a saying that I've often used in that whole process. So the Gardiner Foundation always has that mix of people that can choose to be at a high level of leadership, like a Nuffield Scholarship, and I do a lot of volunteer work now, and I just realise that a community like ours depends on those people who give so much for so little, but never worry about it because they get benefit or their enjoyment or their self-esteem out of just doing that. And the UDB, because I'm from the dairy farmer side, needs to be conscious of that at all times and endeavour to make sure that that's how they approach it, and their relationship with the Gardiner Foundation, along with the other partnerships, are very important, and they need to value it and take pride in it and nurture it at all times.